Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marcelo Abelheira. I'm from the city of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. I work for the civil defense there, and I'm going to show you the civil defense in schools, the project we do in partnership with the Brazilian Red Cross, with the children in Brazil, around 10 to 12 years old, public schools ones. And I'm going to show you, this is a partnership also with the Secretariat of Education. And what's the general objectives? To include disaster risk reduction to the educational system. We all hear about this all the time, and we know it's a very difficult one, but we are trying to do this with them, and it's going very well. How do we do this? The methodology is to be approached the subject with the teachers as a crowd-wide as the curricula. So they talk about the disaster risk reduction in the subjects, in the mathematics, in the Portuguese, and other subjects they talk about the disaster risk reduction. And the target is the elementary school students. So as I said, the age of 10 to 12. And there are some specific objectives. First of all, we explain the hazards and the possible disasters in the city of Rio de Janeiro. Then we teach them the results, the different results of disasters in Rio de Janeiro. We try to stimulate the families to talk this about the disaster risk reduction inside their homes, because it's not so usually in Brazil to talk about that. So as we talk to the kids, they go home and they speak to their families, and then they talk about this and become more resilient. And first aid also, we talk about. What's the timeline of the project? In 2012, we prepared it and planning, talking about this inside. And then since 2013, we are doing the work with many public school students. The number is increasing every year. And we are talking about the 50th grade students, but also they teach the younger ones, and they have the simulation, as I'm going to show, and they do this with the younger ones. We have material to give to the teachers, so this is not only a civil defense project. We not go there and show the students. We also talk with teachers, for the teachers speak about the disaster risk reduction with the students. As I said at the beginning, as a subject besides and together with another subjects, like in geography, in other subjects, they also talk about the civil defense and the resilience. So they have a specific material to deal with that. I'm going to show you some pictures, some photos about our work. Okay, so we had an opening class of the project in 2013. We had some specialists and some authorities, so it was, the media was participating, and some people, some students were selected to have this opening class as we talked about climate change and disaster risk reduction, of course, and all the things we could do to make them more resilient. We had a very special experience with a student. It's a real case. A student, I don't know if you can see, she sat there beside our coordinator. She's called Brenda, and she was 11 years old at that time. And she went to a big forum, and then she spoke to the audience about her experience, and was very, very good to hear her saying about what she thinks about the project. And she said a very impressive phrase, not told by us. She said that the civil defense teach them to do the things before the things happen. So she understands that prevention and to be prepared is much more important to respond. It was her words. At the beginning of the year, we have some disaster risk mapping. At this time, we, the civil defense people, we go to the schools and we talk with students. We do with them the risk mapping, but not us, not we do. They do, and we explain, and we try to help them. And it's very, very nice to see them understanding the risks beside and around their school. They do the work. They understand what's risk. They start to understand that disaster risk reduction starts at their local place. They point out the hazards. At the end of the year, at the end of the project, because the project is for the 5th grade students, and then they go on and continue doing alone, but the civil defense do with them in the 5th grade. At the end of the year, they do an evacuation training. I think I have time to show a 2-minute video that explains this very well. They act like volunteers, they act like civil defense. We see them with different shirts. And as I said, we have a partnership with Brazilian Red Cross. They talk about first aid with them. And at the end, we have they receive a certificate, and you can see at their face how happy they are, how they feel like they are doing something and they are understanding. We evaluate them, they evaluate us, and we evaluate what the project did. And I'm going to show a 2-minute video. I have time. It's in Portuguese, but there is a subtitle in English, and I will try to explain some things that are more important. This was in the main media in Brazil. It's an evening journal. In the Globo, the main emissor. And it was very nice, really very nice. We see in their face, the students' face.
Alunos de escolas públicas do Rio estão passando por um treinamento que ensina como agir durante temporais e enchentes. As orientações podem salvar vidas.
Tiago se disfarça de idoso. Isabelle ganha uma barriga de grávida e Michael Douglas está pronto para interpretar um ferido. Os alunos do 5º ano têm várias responsabilidades neste simulado. Eles representam moradores da comunidade que receberam treinamento e atuam como agentes de saúde da Defesa Civil e também assistentes sociais. Eles vão organizar e liderar a saída das turmas do 1º ao 4º ano. E aí, todo mundo preparado? Sim! A escola fica na favela do Borel, zona norte do Rio. Uma das mais de 40 comunidades que tem um sistema de alarme quando há risco de deslizamento. Com calma, os monitores começam a percorrer as salas.
Somos da saúde e viemos retirados para o ponto de apoio. Não esqueçam do documento.
They are telling them
Casais com crianças de colo têm prioridade, assim como pessoas com necessidades especiais e os mais velhos. Em cada tenda, os agentes comunitários fazem uma chamada. E se faltar alguém?
Nós comunicaremos os familiares. Se a pessoa não for encontrada, ligaremos pro telefone de emergência.
O barulho é de chuva forte e trovões.
Our problem is landslide.
A escola é mesmo um ponto de apoio para temporais. E Matheus leva a sério a interpretação de um deficiente visual em perigo.
Se a gente continuasse em casa, a gente ia correr risco de morrer.
São momentos onde as pessoas entram em pânico. E a criança, sabendo o que fazer, ela ajuda a orientar a sua família para que nada saia errado.
De norte a sul do país, as chuvas provocam tragédias. E as prefeituras não precisam de muitos recursos para fazer treinamentos como este.
Isso não custa nada. Basta apenas serem orientados e participar do treinamento.
So, if you could return to the last slide,
alunos de escolas públicas do Rio estão passando por um treinamento que ensina...
the last slide, please, if it's possible. It's a pleasure to show you our work. It's a very effective work because we are doing with them. They are in the communities. They are the end of the the people, we are not talking about theory, we are talking about practice. We do the work with them, and they understand. They are the children that are going to return home and tell their parents what they did at home. Our work is focused on the rain, heavy rain and landslide. But of course, these kids, imagine that they received these instructions, and they are able to be prepared to any kind of risk, even in different kind of risks. They are already understanding the disaster risk reduction and to be resilient. So anyway, it's very important to show you, and I would like to thank you all for the attention. Thank you very much.